Hello everyone, hopefully you're doing well. In this video, we're going to take a look very quick on how to construct a dot plot. Remember, you use dot plot to display quantitative data graphically. So the first thing you need to notice here is that our data set in the exercise, I will position it on a vertical position, like column A. As you can see for column A, you have you have on column A, you have the data that I reorder in a vertical aspect. So in order to construct any graph, usually on Excel, you need to reposition the data. That's very important. Now, what we're going to do is using some formula to count the number, how many times each data in the data set is repeated. So we're going to use this formula, Excel formula, count if I hit the first data in the data set, colon, and then I will put comma, and I do again A2. Now, just to make sure I close the parenthesis because I want to fix the first one, I can either put dollar sign or I hit F4 to do it. So here we go. Now, everything I need to do now is to drag down on the whole to the last one. So it would count how many times you have 80, how many times you have 36, how many times you have 94, etc. So I could also reorganize our data from the smallest to the largest, but because it's not very important at this point, what I'm going to do now is simply to select these two columns and I hit data. Sorry, is that data? Yep. Um, I would select insert, sorry, I will select insert charts. In the charts, let's take the very first one. All right. Now, I'm not done. What I would do is reorganize my data. And so far, what you see, if I try to select the vertical axis, because I know the smallest data, I could verify it earlier, but I know the smallest data is 36. So I can even decide to start my data with 35 and at 95 because my data is the largest number is 94. So I can also reorganize for the gap. Instead of 20, instead of 10, I can put 5 as how I need the data to be organized. As you see, it's every times 10, but it's not really 10 each time for now because I changed it to 35. So again, as I said, anytime I click on these numbers, I can change them, on the axis, but for the vertical axis, I don't really need those numbers. But if I want, instead of organizing my data in this side from 0 to 3.5, I can go with 1. And what is the largest number in the data set? It's 3, so I can go 1 and 3, and I count by 1 to make it much easier to see, how the data would be organized. So you can see here we have data, but the gap is really that high also. If I want, I can change the gap to be only 1 also. So, all right, now you see my data. And also, I don't really need maximum, minimum for this one. And here, the major is 1. Um, you know, um, we can also remove those lines if we want to. Just click on the lines and click delete, and also on the vertical line, I can also remove them. But of course, the most important is even though you see it that big, if I want, I can just reduce it and make it very small like this one. So you can see where all the data are located, very close one to another. And the titles double click on the title, select, and write dot plot. Okay, so very often on the vertical axis, we don't really have a vertical axis. If you want, you can also hit select and delete. Now, this is a dot plot. That's how you construct a dot plot. If you want to construct more, just go back and in the exercise handout, practice handouts I provided, you can construct more. Just follow these examples. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in a different video to construct more graphs using Excel. Take care. I'll see you in a different video.